Okay, so we are going to go over the sample net problem that you just took a look at. Hopefully you were able to calculate and figure out the net for the sellers in this situation. So I'm going to go over to the board and we're going to take a look at this and work it together. So again, in this situation, Phyllis has the following information for Judy and Tom. And we want to know how much Judy and Tom will net if they close on August 1st, on 8/1. So we have lots of information in this problem. And what I'm going to do is just kind of work kind of have a column here where we can look at debits and credits for Judy and Tom. Well, the first thing we need to do is address the sales price, which is right here, and we can see that $675,000. So as a sales price, and again, this is Judy and Tom's closing statement, and Judy and Tom are the sellers in this situation. So as far as the sales price would be, this would be a credit for Judy and Tom, because they're selling their property, and so they are going to get a credit for $675,000, which is the sales price. So we have that taken care of. Our next order of business are the taxes, and we can see that $3,245 are the taxes. I'm going to come up here and we'll just take a look at the $3,245. Now, remember, taxes are always paid in arrears. So my first step would be to figure out what are the monthly taxes. And in this situation, we are going to look at the monthly taxes. Remember, they're $3,245. So if I take $3,245 and I divide that by 12, I get $270.42. Now, we're kind of lucky in this problem because we're closing on the first of the month, so we really don't have to prorate down for days. We could figure one day if it's closing on the first, and we probably should do that. So let's take $270.42 and divide this by 30 days, which would be $9.01, because normally the seller would pay on the day of closing. So we're going to have one day of taxes that would be due. Now remember, my mother always said, begin with February. Taxes are paid in arrears. So let's count on our fingers. February, March, April, May, June, July, August. We stop on the month that we're closing, so we have 7 months of taxes in one day. So let's take $270.42 and multiply that times 7, and we're going to multiply the $9.01, which is one day. So we know this is $9.01, and 270.42 multiplied times 7 months is 1,892.94. And when I add those together, I get 1,901.95. Now again, this is 7 months of taxes and one day, because we're closing on August the 1st. So how do we put the taxes on our closing statement? Well, remember, taxes are paid in arrears, and so this figure right here, this 7 months and one day, are the number of months and days that the seller owned the home. So we're going to charge or a debit 1,901.95. 1,901.95, and that will be a debit to the sellers. Again, they owned the property for 7 months and 1 day. So we have taken care of that. Now rents are $21,600 per year. So we're going to come up here a little higher and take care of our rents. And $21,600 per year. So I'm just going to divide this by 12. 21,600 divided by 12 equals 1,800 per month. And it says we're closing on the 1st. So kind of an interesting point here. And you know, what you need to understand is probably have the sellers collected the rent on the same day they closed? Probably they haven't. So, you know, I'm looking at this to get the monthly amount, and it's $1,800. And so we don't have enough information in the problem. Have the sellers collected the $1,800 on August 1st, or will they collect it, or will the new owners collect it? So we don't know. But what I'm going to do is just pretend that the sellers have already collected this rent and for August, and that we're just going to, so we're going to charge the sellers for that $1,800. Now, the way this problem is written is, could they have prepaid the rent in advance, and do we need to figure out what the remaining number of months are for the year and charge the seller for that and credit the buyer? In this case, let's just figure that it's August 1, the sellers have already collected the month's worth of rent, and so we're just going to turn around and charge the sellers for that. Okay, we'll make it kind of easy. Probably I should not have written the question in this format, but that's okay. We'll be fine. So it's $1,800 per month. So again, I just want to remind you that in this situation, if the sellers had collected the rent, they would be charged that rent because rents are paid in advance, and we would credit the buyer. So we'll treat it that way, okay? So we've taken care of that. The loan payoff, again, it's on the 1st, so it's $345,676. So I'm going to put loan $345,000, and that was $676. And now we just have some expenses. We have $200, which is the title work. We also have, so I've checked that off, closing fee of $150. So I'm going to, excuse me. So we've taken care of that. Termite inspection of $50. So I'm going to put TI. I'll abbreviate that if that's okay. So we've taken care of that. Home warranty of $600. So we'll put home warranty of $600. And we have a sales commission of 7%. And so this is just a T problem. We'll come all the way up here and we'll do a T problem. 7% commission. I like to move my decimal over 2 places, so that's 0.07. And the sales price again for this was $675,000. So $675,000, we're multiplying, we're solving for the commission rate. This again is part total rate. So $675,000 multiplied by 0.07 equals $47,250. So we'll double check that. 675 times 0.07 is 47,250. That's a nice commission check we would like to have, right? So commission is $47,250. So now we just need to add up all of our debits. So I'm going to add these. 600 plus 50 plus 150 plus 200 plus 345, 676 plus 1800 plus 1901.95 equals total charges of $397, $627.95. Now I'm going to double check just to make certain. 47,250 plus 600 plus 50 plus 150 plus 200 plus 345, 676 plus 1800, and that gives plus 1,901.95, and that should be 397, 627.95. And now we just subtract that, so it's the sales price 675 minus, so 675 minus 397, 627.95 equals 277,372.05. So that is what will be due, or the net, to the seller. And if add these two together, 397, 627.95, we get 675,000. Fix that there. And so the seller net is again 277,372.05. All right, there you go, seller net problem. And of course, if you use that RPR sheet, it should auto-populate all of those numbers for you, but sometimes you might have a different program or a different way, or sometimes you may just want to even do that with a seller net sheet there and go through it with them with a pencil or a pen. I've done that as well. Pencil's usually better in case you make a mistake, but I've done that as well, and sellers like that. They appreciate it. But again, now you know how to go through each one of those steps. Now, we could have had accrued interest. We didn't have that. We could have had some other different calculations. And again, the rent, probably I shouldn't have included that with the problem, but we just pretended as though they collected 1 month's worth of rent on August 1st, even though we closed on August 1st. We just turned around and took that from the seller as well. But there you have it, seller net problem. Hopefully that was helpful for you and you were able to get that correct.